Today here on Big 12 Radio, heard exclusively on TuneIn, and you're watching us via the Big 12 Studios Fast Channel, via your Roku device, Amazon Prime TV, DirecTV, YouTube, some local markets. We are all over the Big 12 Conference on a way back and What's New Wednesday. Chris Kleiman, the Kansas State football coach, joining us just moments ago. If you missed it, you can always go back and watch via YouTube or listen via wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, right here, tune in on demand. He's Ari Timken. I'm James Westling. He's on social at Ari Sports, A-R-I Sports. I'm on social at James Westling. We've got Taman on the board, and we encourage you to join the conversation via YouTube. A little chat feature there. Ari's always just typing away with his friends. Doing a fantastic job of keeping the conversation engaging.
Make sure not to look at the comments, by the way. And anything I say about you in the comments is totally not true. Totally not true.
Behind my back via the YouTube channel. All right, it is.
Also, somebody asked for wanted me to take some weird pictures of you. I thought that was a bit odd.
Shirtless?
Yeah, and more like, can you get one to the side, one of the feet? And I was like, that's a little strange.
My only sports account?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
It's hot. Power rankings. We love our power rankings. We're ranking the top 5 Big 12 teams. Also, today is National Grouch Day, so we're going to have some Grouch-related themes for our power rankings.
I feel attacked. What's that all about?
Ranking our top 5 Grouches. Spoiler alert, Ari's number 1. Taman, take it away. It's our power rankings.
Number 5.
All right, number 5, I have the Baylor Bears checking in at number 5 because this, to me, came down to, all right, if I had Baylor playing this team, who would I have winning? And, look, we didn't see Baylor last week. Their defense is still what their defense is. It's figured some things out, but their offense is highly explosive. I mean, it is one of the number one, based on the metric you're looking at, one of the best offenses in college football. I mean, Sawyer Robertson's a truck. He started to run more now, which I think makes them really difficult. Just one conference loss. It feels like they've got more because they've had so many close games. They've had to come back and had crazy finishes. Baylor, number 5 for me.
Well, I will be shocked based off of your number 5 team if we don't have the exact same power rankings because I thought I had a dark horse with Baylor also at number 5.
Wow.
This is a team that was 2-4 at this point last year. Let's not forget that. There is still a lot of season left, is my point. They've played a brutal schedule. They're 2-1 in Big 12 play. They're in the top 7. They have arguably the best quarterback in this conference. On paper, he is the best quarterback in this league, an NFL caliber gunslinger. And then Michael Trigg coming into his own at the tight end position, highlight reel catch after highlight reel catch. And defensively, I think they are inching closer to turning that thing around. If you give up a few explosive plays here and there, all of a sudden they have a top half of the Big 12 defense, which is what they did last year. So with the very detail-oriented scheme that Dave Aranda's running on that side of the ball, I think they'll get better. And then all of a sudden they're a player in this whole thing.
Number 4.
Number 4 for me is the Cincinnati Bearcats, who, have looked really good so far in conference play. Their one blemish on the season would be the Nebraska loss. They had back-to-back weeks where they looked extremely explosive on offense against Kansas and Iowa State. Did not look that good on offense this week, but it didn't matter because their defense stepped up. And that's what good teams do. They win even when they're not at their best and figure out ways and find ways to manufacture wins. So not sure exactly how good Cincinnati is, but certainly one of the 4 or 5 best teams in this conference. I've got them at number 4.
Number 4 for me, I have the Utah Utes. And I rank them 4 and I rank Cincinnati 3 simply because Utah has suffered a loss. But this weekend, the Holy War will tell us a lot about just how good this Utah team is, how much more improved they are from last year. Their only loss is with a beat-up Devin Dampier to Texas Tech, so toss that game aside. They've been dominant outside of that. A top 5 offensive line in college football, and then defensively, John Henry Daly. 8 sacks, 3 names, 8 sacks. The defensive end is a monster for the Utes.
That's your guy.
Big fan.
Big.
Huge fan.
JHD
John
fan.
Henry Daly.
JHD.
He's a beast.
All right, go ahead, sorry.
Number 3.
Number 3 for me is the BYU Cougars, the Cougs. Maybe a little bit lower than you would have expected based on how you're reacting right now. Look, I think a true freshman quarterback is concerning, and good teams win games when they're not at their best, and that's what they just did. But as these games get more and more pressurized, as defenses key more and more on the things you don't do well, it's going to be more and more tough and tougher for BYU to continue to play this way with a true freshman quarterback. Because at the end of the day, he is a true freshman 19-year-old quarterback. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. They are loaded around him. They've got great receivers. They've got a great running game, a great defense. But the reason they're not higher for me is just my concern I have with having Bear Bachmeier at quarterback. This is a dude that's going to win a lot of games, going to throw for a ton of yards and run for a lot of yards in the Big 12. He's going to have a sterling career ahead of him, and maybe he ends up becoming an NFL quarterback, but he is still a 19-year-old true freshman quarterback. He's made some mistakes these last few weeks. They're only playing more, better defenses, tougher opponents every week. I think, we'll see what happens against Utah this week.
Number 3 for me is where I have Cincinnati. And this is a team that's 5-1 and 3-0. They've won 5 in a row. They're back in the top 25 for the first time in several years. Brendan Sorsby continues to be fantastic. Their win over UCF last Saturday wasn't awe-inspiring. 20-11 doesn't get people super excited. But this is a team that is still top 7 in the country in yards per play, top 10 nationally in rushing average, that three-headed monster in the backfield. Defensively, they are giving up a lot of yards. That's a little bit of a concern. But most of those yards have been in garbage time when they've built these massive leads. They were up 20-3 against UCF. They were up 35-7 against Iowa State before the yards from the opponent really started kicking in. I'm still a believer in Cincinnati. I have the Bearcats at number 3.
Number 2.
This is where I have Utah. You've got Utah too low. Utah has one loss. It was to the best team in the Big 12 and one of the 5, in my opinion, best teams in the country. Now, they didn't look great in that loss, but they've looked great in literally every other game beyond the Texas Tech game. I still think they have a fatal flaw with Devin Dampier, where you have a team like Tech that forces him to have to throw, and he's not going to be able to consistently make plays down the field with his arm at the level that he is with his legs. The issue with that is, so far, only one team has done that to him, and we'll see if BYU can be the second team that does it, because it hasn't mattered. Against Arizona State, we could talk about Sam Leavitt, but more important to that was Arizona State did nothing defensively to stop them. So when they get their ground game going, it's a snowball rolling downhill, and their defense is so good that it puts you away. It can be aggressive. So Utah number 2 for me.
Cannot wait to preview the holy war between BYU and Utah later on in the week. That is a massive game, and I'll have the winner of that game, number 2, next week, unless Texas Tech gets upset by Arizona State. I've got BYU at number 2. BYU made a lot of un-BYU-like mistakes in the Arizona game. They had a couple of turnovers. They had some penalties. They missed a very makeable field goal, and they still won the game in what was by far Arizona's biggest game to this point in the season in front of a rowdy Big 12 After Dark crowd. They survived. And really good football teams find ways to survive. Bear Bachmeier didn't have a great day passing the football, but he still rushed for almost 90 yards. And I think we're at the point in the season where, and I slap myself on the wrist for this, we can stop identifying him as a true freshman quarterback. He's played enough games.
Oh, I'm going to do it.
He's played enough games, and he will still make mistakes from time to time. But this BYU team is so disciplined, so sound. They lean on their ground attack. Their offensive line is super underrated. I'm still all in on the Cougs.
So you're doing the whole cliched coach speak. He's no longer a freshman. He's played enough games.
Kalani James. That's me.
Number 1.
I mean, not much suspense here, not much surprise here. Texas Tech is number 1 and will remain that way until they lose, I guess, if they lose. Texas Tech is averaging nearly 50 points a game and giving up just under 13 points a game. The amount of points they gave up to Kansas was an explosion on offense for a team against Texas Tech's incredible defense. How many points did Kansas score against Texas Tech?
17.
Explosion. Considering they're at 12.2 points per game defensively. They are, I mean, just the numbers. It's incredible to look at some of these numbers in terms of passing efficiency, rushing efficiency, even a backup quarterback. I mean, Hammond didn't play as well throwing the ball against Kansas as he did against Utah, but it didn't matter because they ran the ball so well. Texas Tech, good teams win Great teams cover. Tech winning 6 straight by 24 points. Number 1 team by far.
Texas Tech number 1 for me as well. That's the tweet. That's it. They're dominant both sides of the ball. They have been even better in the trenches than I ever could have imagined coming into the season. You saw all the sacks and all the TFLs from all the transfers and all the pass blocking and run blocking grades from the offensive linemen, and they have been better at those positions than what those guys did at their previous stops, which is really hard to do because they brought in a lot of dudes that are NFL talents. They are so good. They are number 1. He's Ari Timken. I'm James Westling. We've got Taman on the controls. Those are our weekly power rankings. Coming up next, we're going to go back to our conversation with Cam Meller from PFSN Analytics. Had some great stuff on where a lot of these Big 12 teams and players sit nationally. It's very good. And then hair of the dog, which Big 12 favorite could be in trouble this week? It's Big 12 Radio. This is the Big 12 Conference. This is a different league.